Let's see. Hello, everybody. Can I just have a quick little test? And if you guys can hear me, do a little chat in the message box. Say you can hear me. Send me some love. Allison, good morning. She just said hi. Rob, hello. So if you guys can hear me, just send me. Oh, yeah, you can hear me. Holy cannoli. Everyone can hear me. Hi, guys. Good morning. Okay, so I actually have double trouble happening. I have Facebook Live happening to my right, and then I have my webinar right in front of me. So what we are doing today is we are going to be talking about how to really discover your passion and how that can blow up your business. So on Facebook, if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and type them into the chat box. I'm going to be mainly focused on this webinar and teaching it. However, my webinar peeps, if you guys have questions, Christina is going to be at the end asking a few questions so we can do Q&A. And then on Facebook, if you guys have any questions, type them in. And at the end, I'll make sure I get to you. I won't be able to do it live, likely, if we run out of time. However, I will make sure that I address them. All right, you ready? You ready to do this? Do you guys check out my new name, Rachel Adams Lee, because I'm married that man. So excited. It was the most ridiculous wedding for those of you who followed along. We had 100 people travel to Mexico for this unreal destination wedding. So it was super duper fun. Okay, so the reason I decided to do the webinar about passion is because I think too often when we get into business, some of us don't even know why we're getting into business. Some people get into business in real estate or, in Jamboree or LuLaRoe or, Roden and Fields. I'm not even sure how to say it. Sorry for all those people who sell it. But, and you get into business or maybe you're working a 9 to 5, right? And, you always hear about those people who love their job. They don't just go to work, right? They love their job. They passionately love their job. And I have to tell you, I am absolutely one of those people. I love real estate. I love what I get to do for a living. And, I also got to write a book. I mean, I had all these really unique things that happened in my world. So I kind of wanted to share a little bit with you about my path and help hopefully ask some questions that you can dig a little deeper and see if maybe it can provide some clarity on what you're doing. Maybe you're in the perfect career and you just want to dig a little deeper. Maybe right now you're sneaking your lunch break watching this webinar and you're thinking, I want to do something different. Either way, no judgment, just, learn about it and see what we can do. Okay, so to tell you a little bit about myself, this is my bio slide that you guys can't see. I've been in real estate about 5 years. If any of you know Keller Williams, you know this class called Bold. I have taken it 7 times, graduated 7 times. My first year in real estate, what happened is I got into the real estate industry I was actually sitting at a front desk working a full-time job. And I'm seeing all these commission checks coming through. And truth be told, I was in a pretty unhealthy marriage at the time. And people say oh, I'm paycheck to paycheck. I'm like, you guys, I'm paycheck behind a paycheck. If anybody knows I'm feeling about, give me little hearts. I'm sure some of you have been there. And I knew I wanted to change my life. I just didn't know exactly how to get that change. Well, I heard about this class called Bold, and Cody Gibson was teaching it at the time, good friend of mine. And he said a quote that pretty much shifted my world. So I call in sick to the class, I go to Bold, and he said a quote that really rocked me. He said, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So the whole time I'm kind of in the scarcity mindset. I can't quit my job. It's safe. I know how much money's coming in. And yet, what if I did quit my job? Well, then I could have an abundant mindset and there's no cap on how much money I could make. Now, my first year in real estate was bananas. So I quit my job that day, kind of crazy. And the first year, I literally door knocked 200 doors a week and did 3 open houses a week. Now, I did have a partner at the time. However, it was brutal. People said, get ready for blisters. And I'm like, oh, you mean literal blisters? I'm going to get blisters on my feet, right? However, the first year I was able to close 9 million. The second year was 19 million, and then 35, and then 45. And, I was named, in my 3rd year of business, I was named Wall Street Journal's top 1,000 agent in the country. And that was bananas for me. It kind of blew my mind. And, what started to happen was I had a lot of different things that happened in my world that kind of got me to where I'm at. And what you'll find through this path and what we're going to talk about today is it really was me realizing that I didn't like where I was at in my life currently and I needed a change. but how do you change? What do you do when you need to change, right? And so it matters who you surround yourself with, right? Like Jim Rohn has this phenomenal quote that I love, that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. The 5 people. So the 5 people in your sphere of influence the most often that you're around. It could be your spouse, it could be coworkers, it could be your kids. I mean, there's no limit on who this is. The thing is, it's like those people all have an impact on you. If you're in real estate and they're always saying how much the market sucks and there's no inventory, well, that's going to start to affect you, right? The market sucks and there's no inventory. And yet, what if you're around people who say there are plenty of listings out there and it's my job to go out there and get them? Well, that affects you too. Same thing if you want to lose a few pounds and you're motivated and you want to go to the gym and your friends are always inviting you to pizza and beer. Sometimes you just have to really think about who you surround yourself with. So I got really intentional about who I surround myself with. I got really intentional about the kind of conversations that I was having. I got intentional about the kind of person I wanted to be and the kind of life I wanted to have, not just right now, but 5 years from now. And today in this webinar, we're going to talk about positive affirmations. We're going to talk about your passions. I am going to dig into a little bit of real estate and social media because I always do. You know this. But it's pretty exciting. So after the Wall Street Journal, I had a really amazing opportunity present itself to me. And I say it presented itself to me, but I became the person I needed to be for opportunities like this to come in my world, right? And I ended up publishing a book called Lost to Found in 90 Days, Your Journey to Self-Discovery and Ultimate Happiness. And it really was like my path to rediscovering myself after divorce and kind of like figuring out who I was and who I wanted to be. And then I launched a MAPS coaching program, From Limited to Legendary, your fast track to becoming a top 1,000 agent. It's a 10-week webinar series that I coach. We actually have it coming on next Monday, the 17th. I'll give you guys info at the end if you like it. And then obviously the most important thing to know about me, hands down, I just married the most attractive man in America, Ryan Lee. Shout out to you if you're watching. I think he's in a meeting. Okay, here's just a couple pictures of my little world. Got real estate sign on there. We are really big supporters of Blue Heart International. It's an anti-sex trafficking nonprofit. That's at the bottom. My coaching series, that's the laptop. I was on, Fox 40, ABC 10, lots of different things. Sometimes for my events I do for the community, which we'll talk about today, that digs into the passion, and sometimes for the book, all about kind of giving back, right? And then public speaker. So this is just some pictures. And then that super cute picture of me being swung around in a wedding dress. Love that one. Okay, now this is the first slide I want to talk about. It says, if you want to be successful in this world, you have to follow your passion and not a paycheck. I think too often when we get money hungry, we start to do things a little bit for the wrong reason. And when you're in that scarcity mindset, and trust me, I've been there. Like, I'm not saying there's no judgment here. And when you're in a scarcity mindset and you're following that paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, it's a tough spot because you maybe would say things you wouldn't normally say, and you might not have the highest level of integrity that you normally would have. And you start to think, well, you know, I've got to answer the phone at 9 o'clock because if I don't answer it, then they're going to go with someone else. And you start to, to not take your boundaries so seriously. And it's all these different things happen because you're following a paycheck, right? And what I found is that when you start to follow your passion, the paycheck comes. It's like when you finally start doing the things you're meant to do and be surrounded by the people you're supposed to be surrounded by, and you live in your authentic self, all of a sudden the money comes. And yet when you chase the money, you're always chasing the money. You're always looking for it. Anybody feel that way? So I decided that I was going to become not a gold digger, but a goal digger. And that's what the slide here says. And it's kind of silly and it's kind of cheesy. And yet for me, I really feel that I'm focused on my goals. I always have goals in my life. I have professional goals. I have health goals. I have financial goals. Ryan and I have goals for our family. I mean, people always say, what's the biggest thing that changed when you got married? And we said, like our life was, I mean, those of you who follow me on Facebook, I was pretty stoked before I got married. And it was like the best life I'd ever had. And I created that life because I always had goals and I would achieve my goals and then set bigger ones. Now, I don't want to be that person who's like, hashtag crushing it. Like, no, thank you. However, I have been that person and I feel like I kind of grew out of it. We'll see. I might do that in a few posts here from now. But, it was for me like getting so crystal clear on not just, so say in real estate, we always talk about, how many houses we want to sell. My goal, like if I want to sell 200 houses this year, well, what if I just made a little shift in that? What if I said, instead of selling 200 houses, what if I was helping 200 families, right? Like real estate, biggest financial decision people will ever make, and huge honor when they trust you to be the realtor. So little shifts, right? But I said, okay, I'm going to be big on goals. I'm going to have massive goals, and I'm going to make it about how I can give. It's not about what you can get. And I think when you're really thinking with the dollar in mind, you think what I can get instead of what I can give. And if any of you followed me earlier this year, I always have a theme for the year, like a theme for what the year is going to be about. And what I decided this year is it was all about what I could give, not what I could get. Because I really think that when you think about what you can get, you're chasing that dollar, and you're always going to be chasing that dollar. And then you know what? You're never going to have it because you're never going to have enough. You're always going to want more. You're always going to be looking at all those other people on social media. And trust me, you guys, I get that. Like, I totally understand looking at somebody on Facebook and you look at them and you think, gosh, their life is so perfect. They have it all together. They have a beautiful marriage. They have this perfect family. And reality is 5 minutes before, they were probably in a huge fight with their spouse, but no one's going to take a picture of that and put that on Facebook. That's not cute. That's not sexy. You're going to take a picture of the happy times, the times you want to show someone. And so I really think, one of my favorite bold laws is don't judge your insides by someone else's outsides. It's not easy, and yet it's really important, and I find it's freeing when you can let go. Okay, now this next slide talks about finding your passion. So I know we have a lot of different people. In fact, we have just under 1,000 people right now on the webinar, and a lot of you are in all different industries. We have real estate, we have auto, we have insurance, we have Jamboree, we have LuLaRoe, we have, just tons of entrepreneurs. We have stay-at-home moms, we have CEOs. Like, we really have a wide variety of people on this. And, when I will say, like, my dad, he's a real estate broker. He always wanted me to go into real estate. And I was like, no, thanks, Dad. I'm going to get a real job. I didn't want to do it. And, what I decided was, when I was seeing all those paychecks coming through, I was thinking, like, I don't want to go into real estate and have that slimy, rep that I had heard about, like the used car salesman and stuff like that, because I had heard kind of a negativity around real estate. And I thought, I don't want that. I want to be able to think, I want to change the mindset of people around realtors. So what if I could make my world about contributing? What if I could make it of, coming from contribution, building my business, but by contributing to others? And so finding your passion. So I know you guys on Facebook can't see this slide. Again, if you want to see all the slides, just register in the link above, and you'll be able to see all the slides that we're talking about. So first one, it says finding your passion. So these are just some really good questions that we found scouring the internet to help you figure out your passion. So first, what was your favorite thing to do growing up? When you were a child, what did you dream of doing when you grew up? What is your favorite topic to talk about? I mean, maybe you love fashion and you're sitting at a desk job at a 9 to 5 and you are thinking, I don't like this life. You can start small. You can do something on the side, and then when it supplements your income, you can jump with both feet. I mean, it can be done. What do you like doing so much that you lose track of time? Like that pastime that you do that you're just like so passionate about, and all of a sudden you realize it's been 2 hours and you're like, whoops, Facebook doesn't count. P.S. I know you out there. Let's see. Whose life do you envy the most and why? What would you do differently with your education if you got a chance to start over? If you had 5 minutes and the whole world was forced to listen, what would you say? Like they talk about an elevator pitch, right? What would be your elevator pitch? What would you actually want to tell someone if you had 5 minutes and that was it? And you could talk about what really made your heart beat. Like, what is that topic for you? What would you do with your life if you had no fear? Like, that's a really, really big one. I've had some very big life decisions where people have asked me, what would you do if there was no fear? And boom, I know the answer. It's just scary sometimes to always say the answer. What would you do with your life if you had a guarantee of success And then what would you do with your life if money wasn't an issue? Now, those of you on Facebook, I can see your little chat. I can't see it yet on the webinar because I have the full screen, but I'd love to know some of these answers for you. Are you right now, and I want you to think about it, are you doing right now what you love? Is this the career you've always dreamed of? Is this something that you're going to be proud to talk about to your kids as they get older? You know, listen to mommy, she's doing what she loves. I mean, think about how you talk to your kid and you want your kid to follow their dreams. So what are you doing with your dreams, right? Now, I want you to think about this, and this is something I say all the time. People work with people they like, and they like you, but they need to know who you are. They need to know what makes you tick. They want to know what matters to you. And I will tell you, and we'll kind of dig into it a little bit, but my real estate business took a huge shift when I really truly decided to not have this perfect image. I mean, those of you who knew me early on know that I was married before. And when I got a divorce, I didn't tell anybody. It was like, poof, he just disappeared. Because for me, I didn't want anyone to judge me. I didn't want people to think I was a failure. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to hide it. I'm going to pretend like it didn't happen. And I put this perfect image of success on social media. And reality was like, that was exhausting. It wasn't good for me. It wasn't good for me inside. And there's only so long you can go before you kind of hit burnout mode. And I think a lot of people have these ideas and they think, well, that was really tough. So instead of dealing with it, I'm just going to push it down. I'm going to keep pushing it down and it'll go away. But reality is it shows up in different ways. It can show up in a 32-pound weight gain that you didn't know was happening. It can show up in, exhaustion. It can show up in burnout mode. You might accidentally hit a car because you were texting, because you were trying to do too many things and you're multitasking. Like, some of us have been there, and again, no judgment. This is just about awareness. So what I want you to do for the rest of this hour is I just want you to think about truly who you want to be, like where you're at in your life, and being open with the people around you. Because when I was truly honest with who I was, not only did my business change, but I changed. And I felt like this weight was lifted off my shoulders, and everybody around me said they could feel that. Okay, so this next slide's really cool. It's kind of a diagram. On the top, it says what you love. On the left, it says what you're good at. On the right, it says what pays well. And then you see here, if you're mixing what you love with what you're good at, you might be happy, but you could be poor. If you're doing what pays well and what you love, and maybe part of it's just a dream, you could be rich but bored. And it's like when you really mix all these together, so what you love, what you're good at, often those end up being what pays well, and then you find the one. And again, if you guys want to see this slide, it's kind of a cool one. If you want to see this slide, make sure you register, and then you guys can check it out. I'm also happy if you don't want to register, we'll just take a screenshot and we can post it in the comments for you. Now, people often talk about their big why, why they do what they do. If they truly, if you didn't have to be paid to wake up in the morning and it was totally free and money also wasn't an issue, why would you do what you do? And it's a tough question. And in fact, when I was asked the big why question, we actually had a mastermind with an ALC in Chico, and we talked about the big why. And people said they were really struggling with their big why. They said, I just don't feel like my big why is big enough. Now, I remember when I was trying to figure out my big why, I didn't have kids. I still don't have kids. And everyone's big why was their kids. And I thought, gosh, nothing that I come up with is going to be big enough because I don't have kids yet. And what happened was I realized it really is about what matters to you. It doesn't have to be kids because I don't have them yet. So my big why, it's to be financially free, to build a business that leaves a legacy, to inspire others to lead their best life, and to be able to fulfill the biggest honor of being a wife and a mom. So for me, those of you who know me, you know that I am all about inspiring other people to lead their best life. That's why we wrote Lost to Found. That's why I do the women empowerment events. I really feel like I, for so long, was focused on the wrong things for the wrong reasons. And when I really decided to live for me, it was so empowering and freeing. And so I wanted to share that with others. And so there's no judgment if you don't know your big why yet. What I would say is just think about it. Why do you do what you do? What do you want to be known for? If people talked about you after you're gone, what do you want them to say? What is that message? And what do you, and then maybe take a few step backs and think about what you're doing right now for your career and in your life and what you do when you wake up. Like, are you happy when you wake up? Are you excited about the day? Or do you dread it? Do you dread your day? Okay, so this is a really cool exercise. It says creative exercises for finding purpose and finding passion. So number one, you work out what you don't like doing. So if you don't like doing something, then you want to write it down. You want to know what you're not passionate about, almost like a pro and a con list. You want to think, what doesn't make me happy? In Lost to Found, we talk about having like a joy list. And so it's like the opposite of joy. What do you not like doing? I will tell you guys that I am like the worst admin ever. I even make the joke about like dotting I's and dotting I's and crossing T's. And I say it wrong half the time because it's literally just, it's just not my thing. And so admin duties would be something that I would write down. Cleaning the house, doing laundry. I was actually at a seminar one time and I remember that I forget who the speaker was, but they were talking about the things you don't like doing. And they were talking about leverage. And I was really new in the leverage world. And so I knew that it meant like giving it to someone else. And yet I was thinking, I don't like doing sign writers. I don't like installing, putting pictures on MLS. So I can leverage that out. And the speaker was like, no. In your personal life, what do you not like doing? I want you to pick 2 things right now that you don't like doing. And number one for me, I'm not kidding, was laundry. It was laundry. And it was one of those cool classes where you get to also decide, take one action item, like make an action item, or take one step of action to making that one thing happen. So I remember being in the class and sending a text message to my housekeeper. And I was like, hey, do you do laundry? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, would you be willing to do mine? How much does it cost? And I haven't done laundry in 6 years. So it was a long time ago. And it was just that simple little thing. And I will tell you that I am such a believer in positive energy. And in fact, if any of you have ever read The Energy Bus by John Gordon, he talks about how important it is to have positive energy around you. And so what I want you to think about are, what are those little things in your world that constantly take away your good energy, your positive energy? Like if you're that person who constantly leaves dishes in the sink, which if I could turn my phone right now, you'd see there's like a pile full of dishes. So I say this figuratively. So if you, so say you have a pile full of dishes in your sink, and every time you look at it, you think, oh, the dishes. That's taking little pieces of joy from you. It's taking little pieces of joy out of your day. And so then you have to think, okay, that doesn't work for me. How can I get my joy back? Well, it takes you 2 minutes. Do the dishes before you leave the house. That way, when you're in the car, you're not thinking, gosh, when I get home, I have to do the dishes. And then when you're at the office, you're thinking, oh, well, today's been such a good productive day, but when I get home, I still have to do the dishes. And you pull into your driveway and you've had this awesome day. And the second you unlock the door, it's like, the dishes. So I challenge you, take little things in your life and take your joy back. Take a moment and take your joy and hold it, right? You're in control of your life. Number 2, we're talking about creative exercises for finding purpose and passion. Slow down. Slow down. Now, I realize I'm like super speed talking, and so for you guys, it's probably funny that I'm telling you to slow down. And yet, I found that when I am going too fast, that's usually when mistakes happen, or I don't make really sound decisions. So I encourage you to just slow down a little bit. Number 3, make a creativity board. Some people call this a vision board. I have a vision board, which I've posted before. I'm happy to share with you guys again. Make a creativity board. Put out there all the things you want for your life, the person you want to be. Remember, it's not about who you are right now, you guys. It's about who you want to become. And so if you make a creativity board, it'll help kind of jog some of that fun creative juices for you. Maybe you want to be a musician. Maybe you want to be an artist. Maybe you want to be a realtor, an author, a professional athlete. Whatever it is, you make that creativity board and you put it out there. Number 4, make a list of people that you admire. Now, this is huge because, I am such a believer in having mentors. And in every category of my life, I talked about like health and fitness, financial, spiritual, relationship, business, right? I have people that I look up to. Now, these are people that are doing what you want to do at a very high level. So I'll be honest with you. The majority of my mentors in business are working moms. They are women with real estate businesses or big social media businesses that are doing amazing things and their priorities are in line. They put their family first. I think a lot of times we get so big and we're so, I've got to kill it and crush it. And we're so big on our business goals that we forget about our family or we forget about the people who love us, who support us. And that's never a good place to be. So make a list of people you admire, your mentors. And I think that if you start to watch what they're doing and you see what time they wake up in the morning and you see what they're eating for breakfast, mirror and match, you guys. That's absolutely what I did. And I encourage you to try it. Number 5, focus on the fun. I think that if you focus on the good, the positive, then you'll become one of those people who always sees the silver lining. I have a friend who was having a really bad day and she was tired and, she was telling me that like her kids didn't sleep last night and she was frustrated and she had a bad day at work. And we had a company event and she came to the event and she was kind of tired and kind of out of it. But everybody around her was so happy and so fulfilled and having so much fun that all of a sudden she started to smile. And you know what happens when you start to act like you're feeling good? You start to feel good. And so if you focus on the fun, if you focus on all the positives and you're thinking about what you like to do versus what you don't like to do, and you think about the people you want to, like who you want to become, not who you necessarily are, good things start to happen. Now, number 6, this is big. This is all about journaling. Now, the reason that I'm such a believer in journaling is because I think the magic happens when you want to stop writing. Now, I was that person who never wanted to journal. People said like, oh, I journal. I'm like, I want to be that person. So I went to Target. I tried a bunch of journals out. Some felt good in my hands, some didn't. And I found the one, there's always that one that kind of looks at you. And so you're like, okay, this is my journal. So I got my journal, I sat down. I'm like, I'm going to journal. I'm going to be that person that journals. And I sat down and I put my pen to the paper and it was like crickets. I'm like, are you kidding me? I want to be that girl that journals, like those beautiful yogi women. They do yoga and they're Pilates and they're so at peace. Like they journal. If I journal, then I'm going to want to do yoga and I'm going to be at peace and it's going to be amazing. So I really tried to journal. I put major effort in and it didn't work. So then I was like, well, it doesn't work sitting on my couch. So I'm going to go outside. So I went outside, nothing. I'm like, oh, this is annoying. So then I went and I laid down on my bed and I'm like, okay, I'm going to just calm myself. And then all of a sudden the words are going to flow. And then I fell asleep, and has anybody out there in Facebook tried to journal? Are you guys journalers? Tell me how you're feeling because I know I had a hard time. And then what happened was I woke up and I was like, okay, where do I feel really good? Like, where is a calming spot for me? And the calming spot for me was this small little corner of my couch covered in a blanket with a cup of tea, mug of tea. So I got a mug of tea and I started to journal. And it was like, at first it was, and actually I heard a really good tip from somebody about journaling. You literally can just start to talk about the weather. It was cold today. It was hot today. I had to strip some layers down, open my, roll down my windows. I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling that way. And you kind of start to talk about like surface level stuff. And then slowly it starts to come out of you. And then what I would encourage you to do too is set a timer. So set a timer for when you think that you want to stop journaling, like 20 minutes. And I guarantee you at minute 15, you're gonna be like, I think I'm done. And yet the timer hasn't gone off. Keep writing. Keep writing, because I will tell you that the magic happens in that last 5 minutes. The magic happens when you want to give up. That's when the good stuff starts to come out of you, and stuff that you might not even know. And if you're trying to figure out what you're creative about and what you're passionate about, it's going to come out in those last 5 minutes. Number 7 is push past fear. So this is huge because I really think that if you are fearful of something, It often is because it's the one thing you should be leaning in towards. It's the one thing that really should help you, you dig in and you learn a little more. And, when I wanted to go into real estate, you guys, I'm literally working a full-time job and paycheck to paycheck. In fact, I remember one time where, some of you have heard this story, but I'm guessing most haven't. So I was, when you're in real estate, it's like one more paycheck and I'll be okay. One more paycheck and I'll be okay. And my old business partner, Matt, we always used to say that one more check and we'll be okay. And I remember that I was about 6 months into my career and, I needed to get to a showing, for real estate. And I walked out to my car and my gas light was on. Now I know me, and if my gas light's on, it means it's been on for 2 days and I'm out of gas. And I was like, shoot. So I went to my ex-husband and I said, hey, can I take your car? Because I had the nicer car of the two, so we only drove his when we needed. And I was like, can I take your car? And he was like, I don't have any gas in my car. I've been riding the motorcycle. And I remember just thinking, oh my gosh. And, so at that point, I had no money in the bank. NSF fees were a regular thing. Those of you who know NSF fees, that was a regular thing for me. And I'm, thinking, how am I going to get to this showing? So go into the house, scrounge around money. And I remember that we came up with $4.26. Now, you don't forget $4.26 when you're in a moment like this. And I remember just dropping to the ground in my garage and bursting into tears. And I just remember thinking, I never want to come back to this. Like, everybody has these moments in their life, these lows. For me, one of my major lows is sitting on the ground, crying. And we decided we were going to look up on YouTube how to siphon gas to get from a motorcycle to a car to get me to that showing. Now, that moment could have broken me. I could have said, you know what? This is too hard. Real estate is too hard. I'm out. And yet what I decided to do is take that moment and have it push me, have it drive me. I pushed past fear, just like number 7 says, because I realized I knew that I was meant for more. That moment for me, I want you to think about a word. The word is bounce back ability. So life is going to happen. Tough things are going to happen. And yet, how do you choose to bounce back from it? What is your bounce back ability? I mean, I just think that if you're willing to push past fear and go for it, there always is light at the end of the tunnel. And yet if I quit, I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at today. Number 8 is never quit trying. So, those people, we see people on TV or, you'll see a movie star and you see this huge movie star on TV and you think, gosh, they're just amazing. And they've had this incredible career. And yet if you talk to that movie star, they'll tell you that they got, denied from audition after audition after audition. And they went home and they were living on top ramen. And all we see is the success story. And sometimes it's like an 11-year success story. You don't see those first 11 years. You don't see that time of struggle. All you see is the end. So number 8, never quit trying. And again, for those of you on Facebook, if you want to see this slide, either register on the webinar or we will make sure that we pop it in at the end of the webinar. Thank you, Barbara. She said, welcome back. Okay. Now I want to take a little limiting belief out of your mind because I definitely had this. This slide it has a picture of the universe. The universe has a picture of the world, and it says your world and their world. Now, what will start to happen as you find your passion and your business starts to grow is you're going to see your organization growing, and you're going to start to have amazing, talented people come into your world. Now, I'm going to give you an example of a agent or it's someone in my world. His name's Patrick. He's the director of sales in my real estate team. And, the first year with me in real estate, Patrick closed 11 transactions and then he closed 23. And this year he's going to do about 40 transactions. And I remember saying to my business coach, David, I said, David, at what point is he going to leave me? And David was like, whoa, Rachel, that's not how we talk. And I said, but he's doing so much business. At what point is he going to leave me? And he said, Rachel, your job is to make your world so big that he can grow as big as he wants and stay in your world. And I was like, mind blown. Like, how cool is that? And so I had a really unique opportunity to go sit down and talk to Patrick. And I said, Patrick, I've known you for a couple years now, and I want to know, what does the next few years look like for you? What do you want out of life? What matters to you? And Patrick talked to me, and he said that he wants to be able to make sure that his wife can stop working when they have kids. And he likes that I do public speaking. And so he wants to start speaking. And so we actually sat down and we made him a public speaking class called Being a Rockstar Buyer's Agent. And so now Patrick can go have a side income, do public speaking, and make his world grow bigger, right? So stretch himself, and yet he still stays in my organization. And so it's kind of a limiting belief that people are going to leave, because with you as the rainmaker or the owner of the company, you can have amazing, talented people in your world, and you can keep growing and they can keep growing. And when you're open to opportunity, that's when the good stuff really happens. Now, a couple people have asked me about my my team structure and organization. Oh, Ryan Lee just joined. Hi, Ryan. You missed all the passion part, babe. Now I'm on to business. We're doing a little shift. So a lot of people ask me about my current organization on my team, and so I wanted to kind of share it with you. Now, I will apologize. This slide's a teeny bit out of date, and yet there are 3 departments to our team. So the real estate team specifically, we have lead gen and marketing, we have an admin division, and we have sales. Now, lead gen and marketing, for all of you in real estate, I want you to think about you being the rainmaker. You are the one person who makes it like a rain down leads, right? And then if you have an ISA or a director lead generation, they go under that for lead gen as well. We also have someone who does video for us. They would go on that side. Then you have your admin. That's your transaction coordinator, your runner, your virtual assistant, your COO. And then you also have your sales division. Now, I definitely want, this is so funny. Sorry, I'm seeing comments on Facebook about Ryan, and it's making me laugh. Okay, so then we have the sales division. Now, the sales division is divided into 2 parts. We have the seller division and the buyer division, and I'm still in production. So I'm the lead listing agent. So I am in charge of all the listings on the team. And then we have a buyer division and a showing assistant. As well as we have an expansion agent, Greg, in Brentwood, Northern California, Brentwood. Now, Patrick is the director of sales, and so he is in charge of helping train the buyer's agents as they come on. And I will say that all of our buyer's agents are able to also take listings. So we're a little bit non-traditional on that part. And if anybody's curious about splits or showing agent, let me know. I love talking about the showing agent model. And if you missed that YouTube video, we can definitely make a link for you on that. And also, buyer broker contracts, anything you guys want a script for, all about it. And as a side note, if you are interested in learning any more just traditional real estate scripts or growing your real estate business, I have a YouTube channel under Rachel Adams Realtor. You can go on there and check it out. There's a lot of different tips and tricks and things to do. Okay, now this next slide is really important because this talks about seamless branding. And when you get really crystal clear on the kind of business that you want to have and the message you're sending out there, you're going to want to do what's called activating people's RAS. So those of you on Facebook and on our webinar, how many of you know what your RAS is? Your RAS. Your RAS, it's called your reticular activating system. It's this little thing here in the back of your brain that's when it's activated, all of a sudden you notice things around you. Now, I'm going to use, for example, the same thing I always use, and this is going to be a Ford Focus. So say that you decide you want to, test drive a Ford Focus. So you want to buy one, right? So you go to the dealership, you get in the car, you test drive it, and you like it, but you're not 100% sold, right? And so you say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the dealership and I'm going to think about it. So you get back in your car, you're driving down the freeway, and all of a sudden you look to your right and you see a billboard for a Ford Focus. And you're like, oh, that's so weird. I was just driving one of those. And then you park in the grocery store and all of a sudden you see 2 more parked to your right and 1 to your left. And you're like, whoa, this is crazy. Where did they all come from? Well, they've always been there, but now your RAS is activated to them. And so what I want you to do is I want you to think about this. What if people's RAS was activated to you, your brand, and your business? So what you see here is you see my seamless branding. You're going to see the business card matches our thank you card, which matches our presentation folders, my e-banner on my email, the sign on the side of my car, the listing panel, as well as my Facebook banner. Now, why do I have them all the same? Well, because I want people to recognize me. And I'll tell you, this really does work. What will start to happen is somebody is, they see a Facebook video that I've done, and on the end of my Facebook video, which I'm posting one in a couple days, a personal development one, you'll see that I have my logo. I have my Rachel Adams Group logo, and I have the same tagline in every single thing. We live here, we work here, we're here for you, which you'll see it soon. And, it's on everything that I do. And so you see this video on Facebook and you're like, oh, that's a cool video. I think I learned something from that girl. And then all of a sudden you're driving and you see a listing panel on the right and you see my picture again and you're like, oh, that's weird. I feel like I know her, but I'm not sure why. That's so weird. And then I'm in the grocery store and you walk by me and you're like, I know her. Where do I know her from? Well, it's because your RAS is now activated to me. And so what I talk to my clients about is I literally teach them in a buyer broker or a listing appointment. I teach them about their RAS. Like, have you ever heard of your RAS? And they're like, no, because nobody has unless they've taken bold or talked to me. And I say, well, it's this little thing in the back of your brain, right? So I teach them about it. And I say, you know what? When you're buying or selling a house, you're going to find that your RAS is activated to real estate. And, my business obviously grows by referral, and I really appreciate and trust you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 extra business cards. And what I would love is if you're standing in line at the grocery store and 3 aisles down, you hear someone talking about buying or selling a house or investing in real estate, and you've been having so much fun with me looking for your house, that you're going to run down the aisle, hand them your business card, and let them know that, you have an awesome realtor who could help them. And then what happens, so that's the first time you're kind of planting the seed. And then what I like to do is if I'm at a home inspection or a property walkthrough or something, a happy moment, right? A good thing. Then I say, hey, just checking. Do you need any more business cards? Did you handle those out yet? And they're like, haha. I'm like, but really, do you need any more? So it's always a moment to remind them like, hey, my business grows by referral, right? And I appreciate any and all you send my way. And then your third opportunity to ask for a referral is always at the close of escrow. We actually have a testimonial video that we send out and an email template to a buyer and a seller, and our admin sends that out. And it's pretty cool. And it's a pre-recorded video just thanking them for trusting our team, asking for the referral, and a testimonial. And if you look up us on Zillow and Realtor.com, we have quite a few referrals because we have a system. And in the coaching program that I do, we teach you all those systems as well. Okay, so this bad boy right here is our team logo and our team slogan. So as you'll see, again, seamless branding, the logo is on everything we do. And then our message, we live here, we work here, we're here for you. Because as I was realizing what my passion was in real estate, it wasn't about just selling houses. It was about being there for the community, contributing back to the community. So we live here, we work here, we're here for you. We live in the community, we work in the community, and we're here for the community. Now, does anybody out there pay for any online leads or ever have a hard time kind of like warming up someone you don't know? Well, that happened for me. And I wanted to find a way that I could really get people to like get their guard down. I wanted, I had so many online leads. And so I wanted to be able to have something sent to them where immediately they were like, I think I want to talk to this girl. So what we did is we had a professional videographer come to the office. We had every single agent come to the office, and we recorded a commercial. Now in this commercial, we had, and just so you guys know, this isn't all business. I'm wearing yoga pants right now. I don't know how many of you do that, but on Fridays I work from home. So it's like business on the top and party on the bottom. You're lucky it's not like Christmas pajama pants, because that happens too. Okay, so with the commercial, what we do is we actually made this commercial. We talk about who we are, what we love about real estate, the areas we service, and how they can contact us. right? And so what we did is we recorded this video and we actually embed it in every single email that we send. And what it says, it's a hyperlink, and it says, learn more about the Rachel Adams Group. And I will tell you, I have had leads contact me and tell me the reason that they called me over another agent is because they felt like I was warm. They felt like I was approachable. And so what I want to do is I want to show this to you guys. And I'm going to just, let's see how I want to do this. I want you guys on Facebook to see it as well. So I'm going to make this happen for you. Okay, so let's see if you guys can see the screen. And you guys can see my magical little light that I use too. Okay, so this is our company video.
Hi there, my name is Rachel Adams. I am the CEO and founder of the Rachel Adams Group at Keller Williams Realty, located in Northern California. Our team is currently in the top 1% in the county, and I was honored with Wall Street Journal's top 1,000 agents in the country. I like to say that real estate is a relationship-based business, and by the way, we just happen to be in the business of buying and selling houses. One of the things that truly makes our team unique is that we have different agents that specialize in different areas. Whether you're looking for a country property in Auburn, a chic home in downtown Sacramento, or a luxury property in Granite Bay, we have a different agent in each area, and we have you covered. One of the things that makes our team really unique is absolutely the marketing. I think it's really important that when you're looking to work with the right realtor, it shouldn't be hard. It should be something fun and exciting, and your realtor would be doing a lot of the hard work for you. When you're selling a home with us, we will send out a professional photographer. They take about 17 to 25 photos of your home, and then we actually give you your own custom website. That's going to be featured on 372 online sources. You'll notice a few of them, Zillow, Google, and Trulia, but Overstock.com has their own real estate site. People don't even know that, but we do. Along with the website, each client can download a mobile app so you can look at homes anytime, anywhere. Keller Williams has an amazing company culture. The foundation is God first, and then your family, and then your business. I'm really fortunate that business is one of my favorite things because of who I get to work with. We always say we don't have to go to work, we get to go to work, and we're so excited to work with you. We have an amazing synergy on our team. It's kind of like a family, and you'll definitely feel like you're part of that family when you're working with us. Whether you're looking to buy a house and get the best price for your home, or you're looking to sell your home and net the most money, we can't wait to work with you and help you take the next big step in your life.
Okay, now watch what we have here. We live here, we work here, we're here for you. And then we have our logo. So, I don't know about you. If that were me and I wanted to do, have more and really connect more with the people that are online or that I didn't have rapport with yet, I said, listen, I really, really want to connect with them. And this for me was a way around it. And I will tell you, this video gets so many compliments, such a connection. And so if you want to make a video, you don't have to do it as fancy as mine. You literally could just simply use your iPhone, which you're going to use your iPhone because no one uses an Android. I don't know what those things even are. It's like the regular fake argument in our household because Ryan's an Android fan. What are you guys? Are you Android or iPhone? And so you use your iPhone or a video, right? And you just want to say who you are, the areas you service, what you love about real estate, and how they can contact you. And same thing, doesn't matter the industry you're in. You want to say who you are, the areas you service, what you love about what you do, and how they can contact you. And what I will tell you is even on Facebook now, you can have a quick little bio, a video that you can post on your business page before they even look at your page. And so what a unique opportunity for you. Okay, now this next part, you guys, if those of you have taken my class, you know that I talk all about this. This is the 4 Ps of an affirmation. Now, I learned this in Bold, and I think it's so powerful, so I want to share it with you. Now, when I was in real estate and I first started, I told you I was definitely broke and struggling, and yet thinking that I was broke and struggling wasn't going to help me at all. So what I would say is every day I was like, okay, I don't like where I'm at now, but it's not about where I'm at now. It's about where I want to go. And the difference between where I'm at now and where I want to go, it's just a series of small, good choices. So the 4 P's of an affirmation, you want them to be positive. You want them to be present tense. You want them to be purposeful. And you want them to be powerful. So we are talking about I am, I do, I have. Now you'll notice my tone changes a little bit, because when you're saying an affirmation, there's no wishy-washy, I wish I could. It's no, I am, I do, I have. This is who you're going to become. And so if you really are going to become that person, you get really intentional about that. So what I want you guys to do, it's a little homework assignment. And we go over this in the course as well, but I want you to take 3 things about yourself and actually physically write them down. So 3 things about yourself that you don't like or that you'd want to change. Maybe you want to lose a few pounds. Maybe you don't have the business that you want to have right now. Maybe you need a healthier marriage. Maybe you don't spend enough quality time off your cell phone with your kids. Whatever it is, there's going to be things. We do this exercise when I teach courses and teach live classes. And there's always people who talk about, that they procrastinate, or, that they don't have enough time in their day, for their schedule. And so what we do is we take the negative, which is what we talk about first, and then we turn it into a positive. So it's, I wish I need to lose, and like the need, right? I need this. I need to lose, 15 pounds. And so it's like, okay, well, if you need to lose 15 pounds and you're talking all the time about how you don't like your body and you're overweight, right? Then you can say, well, for me, I was that person. And I said, I am tight, I am toned, and I drink a gallon of water a day. Now, I wasn't tight. I certainly wasn't toned. And I definitely don't think that I was drinking a gallon of water a day. However, you will not now find me. I have like water glasses all over my house. There's like 5 in any vicinity, as well as coffee. And the reason for that is because it wasn't about who I was. Yes, I was 32 pounds overweight, but that wasn't who I was going to become. And maybe you're that person who you never have enough time in the day. So I am in control of my schedule, and I have extra time at the end of the day for me. I am in control of my schedule, and I have extra time at the end of the day for me. Instead of I procrastinate, there's never enough time in my day, I'm so stressed out. Like it's a little shift you can make, and yet you get really positive results. So these are mine. These are my positive affirmations that I say. I am a leader, and I lead by example. I am tight, toned, and I drink a gallon of water a day. I'm a great listener, and I offer value to those around me. I am happy, healthy, and full of positive energy. I get tons of referrals from my overflowing database, and I call them regularly, just like all you call your database, right? I do not care what other people think, and I lead my full life with integrity and heart. Every experience I have in life is perfect for my next stage of growth. Now, some of these I made up. Some of these I heard from other people and I borrowed. It doesn't matter. If there's any of mine that you like, take them. I mean, the thing is, this is about who you're going to become. And so I want you to seriously think about it. Who are you right now? Who do you want to become? Are you where you want to be in your life? If you're not, that's okay. The first thing you do is you make one small good decision. Maybe it's going to bed a little bit earlier the night before so you can wake up and go to the gym in the morning. It's one small good decision. And yet, if you're anything like me, if you work out in the morning, sorry, I keep shifting on my chair because I'm tiny. If you're anything like me, working out in the morning, it's like the one good thing I can do for myself. And all the rest of my day is better if I work out in the morning. And if I don't, I just feel a little bit off. Okay, so now what we're going to do is chug some water really quickly. And we're going to talk a little bit about growing your business, kind of by doing the things that you really like, that you really enjoy. So I always say, for me with real estate, it's a relationship-based business, and I just happen to be in the business of buying and selling houses. So any business you're in, really, it's still a relationship-based business. If you're a Beachbody coach, if you're, selling houses, it doesn't matter what you're doing. it is still a relationship-based business, and we can have all the technology we want, and yet shaking hands with someone and making eye contact, it's still an extremely powerful thing. And in real estate, I often make my connections online, and then I meet them in person. So when you're thinking about your business and the people who work with you, what I want you to think about first is your database. Now, this is the people that are actually around you, right? So your database is your sphere of influence. It's the people who know you, who like you, and who would refer business to you. And then I want you to think about your business. And I want you to think about the other ways that your business grows. Now, for me, social media is definitely a leg of my I call it my lead generation chair. So if there's 4 legs on a chair, I want you to think like, what are the 4 ways that you get business from your chair, right? What are the 4 legs that hold your chair up? So for me, I definitely have database. And then maybe for some, it's social media. For others, it could be a door knocking, open houses, business to business connections, investments. I mean, you really can kind of figure out whatever it is for you. And then you only need to have 4, because a lot of times what will happen is you see somebody on Facebook that's hashtag killing it, right? And they're doing, they have all this huge investment portfolio, and they have this, they close 500 deals a year, and they have people dialing and circle calling and doing open houses and, just all these different things. And you're like, okay, I'm going to master all of those. And what ends up happening is you master nothing, because you're constantly spinning your wheels. So what I encourage you to do is to pick 4 things, just 4 things to simplify. One can be your database, because every person has a database. The people who know you, who like you, who refer deals to you. And the other 3, well, they're up to you. Okay, now the next thing I want you to think about is when you are getting into business with somebody, whether it is a client or an extension of you. So for me, I would say a lender or a home inspector or a termite inspector. I want you to think about having the expectation conversation, because the one thing that happens, and the reason that real estate transactions fall apart, is because there wasn't enough communication, right? So first thing, you literally take a piece of paper, and on one side you write, this is what you can expect from me. And on the other side you say, and this is what I expect from you. So you literally draw a line down the piece of paper. Now, the reason that you do that is because if they know what's coming next, then they know what to expect. And what I found is, whether I'm talking to a client or I'm talking to a new lender, I want them to know what they can expect from me, and I need to know what to expect from them. And in fact, on my team, we have something we call Tuesday update days. And we literally every Tuesday reach out and we say, hey, I just wanted to reach out to you. This is what's happening right now, and this is the next step coming. Because I'll be honest with you, I want my phone ringing less. I don't want to be controlled by my phone anymore. I used to be controlled by my phone, and I had to put some really hard boundaries down because it was controlling my life. So I'm going to give you a little tip on setting boundaries with your clients, and you can use it for time blocking too. Now, when I sit down with a client and we're talking about like a buyer broker, right? Someone who wants to purchase a house, I always lead with them, because I think you should always lead with the client. And so I'll lead with the client and I'll say, hey, just curious. So we'll use, for example, Sonia. Okay. My client, Sonia, she's my buyer. And I will say, Sonia, I'm just curious, what time do you usually get up in the morning and kind of get to the office? And she says, oh, closer to somewhere between 8:30 and 9. And I say, oh, perfect. And Sonia, what time would you say that you get home and kind of get dinner ready for the kids? And she says, probably about 6 or 7. I say, you know what, Sonia, that's so funny. Your hours are really similar to mine. I'm actually available from 9 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. Sonia, if you have an emergency and you need to reach out to me, absolutely do. But if it's not an emergency, then I'll definitely get back to you the next business day. And what happens? Sonia just got her portal set up. She's super stoked. She is, sitting down with her husband. She pops open a bottle of wine. It's 9:30 at night. And she's like, oh my gosh, I found the house. I found the house. I have to text Rachel. Well, if I text message Sonia back at 9:30 at night, I've now set my new boundary at 9:30. And so if I don't respect my boundaries, how can I expect Sonia to? So what I would encourage you to do is, when you have clients, set boundaries with them, set expectations. This is when you can expect to hear from me. These are the days, these are the times. Set the conversation with the outcome you want in mind. So I always lead the conversation in a positive way and tell them what they can expect from me. Okay, Now, this next one's kind of neat because if anybody has watched the last webinar I did about custom drip campaigns, we've tweaked it a little bit. But what happened was we wanted to be able to contribute. Once we really dug into what we were passionate about in real estate, I realized that I didn't want to just call someone and say, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to sell a house? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to sell a house? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to sell a house? I realized that I wanted to like do a lot more for them. And so I thought, well, how can I contribute to these people every single time that I reach out to them? And so I honestly, we did this team mastermind and we came up with 33 ways throughout the year that we could reach out to our database. Now, you can definitely reach out for birthdays, time changes, normal things like that. But we wanted to really kind of talk to our team about what mattered to them. And I think I'm like one of the only people on my team that doesn't have a pet. I think there's like 2 of us left that doesn't have a dog. And I used to have a little puppy, Ollie, loved him. And so we would feature dog-friendly hotels, pet adoption month. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of share with you some of the ideas that we had in hopes that it might inspire you to come up with a fun event for you and your company. So we actually took the calendar. So we took a 12-month calendar, and what we did, which you'll see here, is we actually broke it down month by month, and we really did offer 33 times throughout the year how we could provide value to our database. So you'll see, some of these obviously giving out baseball and football schedules. Those of you who know me know I don't give a lick about sports. However, my clients do. And then we also have, at Christmas, we do Santa and mimosas. At Thanksgiving, we do a Thanksgiving food drive. We also do in October, we send out local pumpkin patch locations. So all kinds of things. It's just thinking, how can I add value to those around me? One of the things that I love to do is called a letter from the heart. Now, we talked earlier about how people work with people they like, right? And clearly they like you. So what I want you to think about is a letter from the heart. If you do a letter from the heart, it really connects you more to your clients because they want to know what you're doing. They want to know where you're going. They want to know what you're reading. They want to know really like what makes you tick. And so what we found here is that when you do a letter from the heart, this gets more response than anything that you send out because people want to celebrate with you. So on this one, I talked about how I got to, I became a public speaker. I launched a coaching class. I got featured on realtor.com. And then the most important thing is I shared with everybody that I, was getting engaged. And that was a huge deal for me because that was the biggest thing happening in my world. And any client that I've had that knows me, and they clearly, like, I care about them. They care about me. I wanted to share with them what was going on in my world. Okay, this one is so exciting. This is called Mommies and Mimosas and Kids and Crafts. This is the biggest one that we've thrown yet. We're actually getting this trademarked. It's the cutest logo ever. And what we're doing is we are partnering with local moms groups, and we're doing a local event in Folsom. And so the first one that I did was my girlfriend, Mackenzie, was with her, and she has a local moms group in Elk Grove, California. Shout out to Mackenzie if she's watching. And, I'm the last one of my girlfriends without kids, and I really missed my friend. And yet, how could I hang out with her and still lead generate at the same time, right? Because we all lead generate 2 hours a day. I know every one of you out there does. And in there as well. And so I thought, well, how could I still hang out with her and add value and continue to work? So I created an event called Mommies and Mimosas and Kids and Crafts, and I held it for 3 hours. And it was at it was at her house. So she had the moms group. I hosted the event, and I said, hey, Mackenzie, would it be okay with you if I host an event for a couple hours? I'll have mimosas for the moms and snacks for the littles and crafts. I'll also hire a couple babysitters so the moms can really enjoy. And then, I'll obviously sponsor it. So at the end, if I can just have like 5 minutes and chat about real estate, would that work for you? And she's like, are you kidding me? Free mimosas? I'm in. So I go to Mackenzie's house. I have a mimosa station set up and snacks. I've got, kids and little ones playing in the living room. I have a craft station set up. I have two older kids watching the little ones. The moms are in the living room and they're just sipping on mimosas. They're hanging out. They're just enjoying, right? Now, you'll notice I do not say a single word about real estate, nothing. This was about me getting to know these moms and connecting with them. Now, at the very end, the last 5 minutes, I stand up and I have a flyer, and the flyer matches the marketing of the event. Now, mind you, no one leaves early because, free mimosas. Are you going to leave early? And I literally stand up and I said, "Hey, mamas, my name's Rachel Adams. I just wanted to let you know that I'm a top real estate agent in the country. And, if you're looking to buy a house, well, interest rates are still really low and it's a great time to buy. If you're renting right now, you could actually own your own home for less than you're paying someone else's mortgage right now. And maybe you're just curious how much your house is worth. Last month we actually got 24 offers on one property and we went $19,000 over asking. So prices are definitely going up in your neighborhood. No pressure. And yet, if you wanted to stick around and chat with me after, I'm happy to. Ladies, I put on this event for you because I know how hard you work and I thought you deserved a break. Take care." So 5 minutes, right? So I host this event for 3 hours, 5 minutes of chatting. You guys, I got $2.5 million in production from that event from women who were there who wanted to know how much their house was worth. Now, we had got 2 listings, a purchase, and then one ended up, they were going to refi and they ended up just renting, and it was a different situation. And yet, when you think about this, we all have the same amount of hours in the day. How do you choose to use your time? That was a really good use of my time. It was a very effective use of my time. And I was able to connect with a bunch of different people from one event. And so I want you to think about that. What could you do to get a bunch of people in one area and provide value to all of them? How can you come from contribution to all those people? So this one we're doing, the Mommies and Mimosas Kids and Crafts, we're doing in Folsom. It's our biggest event we're doing yet. We actually opened it to the public. So it's really an opportunity for me to give back to the community of Folsom, hang out with lots of mamas, and support other mompreneurs. So not that I'm a mompreneur, support mompreneurs. So mompreneur, it's a mom entrepreneur. It's kind of a cool new saying. And what we're doing is we actually partnered with a local lender, Evangeline Scott, and we are going to have face painting, arts and crafts. We actually have a family photo station set up. We're going to have a petting zoo, mimosas for mama, juice for the littles, and snacks. And then we have shopping. And what shopping is it's all these moms in my community that I wanted to support. So some of them are selling leggings, some of them are selling soap, some of them are selling, skincare products, some of them are selling beef jerky. I mean, it's whatever they want. It's just I'm giving them a platform to grow their business. And guess what? When they go to think about buying or selling a house, they're going to remember that nice girl who connected them for this fun event. So when I got really clear on my passion with real estate, I realized it was about giving back to other people. I realized it was about connecting with others and contributing to others. And that really is when my business started to grow. This is another awesome one. You guys will see me posting about this one next month. This is called Suits for Soldiers. Now, I have a big soft spot in my heart for people who have fought for our country. I think it is such an amazing sacrifice. And a lot of times when they come back from overseas and they want to go back into the workforce, they don't have a suit. So we're actually partnering with a local lender who is a veteran, Andrew Lippert, and our favorite insurance company. And we are going to be doing Suits for Soldiers. So we're going to be doing a suit drive. And we're going to be collecting suits for all these different soldiers. And then we're actually going to have a day where they come in and they get tailored. They get tailored for their suit. And I will tell you, you want to cry, you want to be connected and have emotion, that will do it to you. Doing something good for the sake of just giving back to others in your community. And you start to be known as that real estate agent who gives back. And I will tell you, that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about giving versus getting. I'm passionate about contributing to others, and my business grows as a byproduct because I'm not chasing the paycheck anymore, you guys. I used to chase the paycheck. I used to have this huge ego, and that's really what mattered to me. And it was exhausting. It was exhausting. And when I finally put that aside, that's when the good stuff started to happen. I'm just checking on time here. Another really good one. This is so fun. And you guys probably just saw me do this one. It's where to watch the fireworks. So with this one, I'm going to fix the phone real quickly. Whoop. Okay. So with where to watch the fireworks, you know, people always want to watch the fireworks on the 4th of July. And why can't you be the person that gives it to them? Why can't you be the person who researches where all the local fireworks are and shares it? Now, a lot of people have fear around door knocking, and I totally understand that. And yet, what if on the other side of your open house flyer, you had where to see the local fireworks or where the local pumpkin patch locations were? If you lead with value, you don't have to worry about knocking on a door and bothering someone. You're simply offering them something to contribute to their life. Back to school supply drive. This is an awesome one. You can pick a local school, find out what their current needs are, and then do a school supply drive for them. This is awesome. You can then connect with the PTA, the principal. Really, really unique opportunity here. Santa and mimosas. Clearly, if you guys are getting anything from me, you know I'm a fan of mimosas. I actually don't like traditional ones. I do them with apple juice, unfiltered apple cider instead of orange juice. I actually don't like the orange juice kind. So side note, but I definitely think you guys would dig it. Try it. But we do Santa and mimosas too. So our idea is, hey, if you're planning on taking pictures with Santa, you might as well do so with a mimosa in hand. Come hang out with your favorite local real estate agent, take pictures. And again, you can totally control this. And if anybody would be interested, let me know in the chat box. In my coaching group, this next round, which starts Monday, I'm going to be teaching you how to actually plan a client event from start to finish. All the steps that happen, the costs you can expect, and we'll probably go through planning like 3 different events just so you can really understand the process behind it, and having the empire builder, the right people in your talent wheelhouse to help you make that happen. So if anybody's interested, let me know. I also could do a webinar on it. That's another idea. So if you're interested in planning client events and you haven't yet, let me know in the webinar. Let me know on Facebook. I definitely want to chat with you guys. Okay, so this one's really cool. If we can probably go for like another 10 minutes or so, and then I can get a few questions in, I think. So this one's really cool. This is the ABCs of real estate. So what happened when I got into real estate was I had a lot of people who were in, leads, and I would get leads from a text message, and I would get leads in email and on Facebook, and I would have leads coming in from all over the place. And I started to lose my leads. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. And then my business coach would say to me, he would say, hey, Rachel, how many people do you have that are looking to buy or sell in the next, 30 days? How many people do you have that are buying to sell in the next 90 days? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. And so my good friend Via Williams taught me this, and I thought it was so cool. And what it is, it's a way to track the leads you have, and it really helps you figure out like who's ready to buy or sell and who's in your pipeline. So what you'll see here, and again, those of you who are just joining, if you want to check any of the slides that I'm talking about, you can register for the webinar, or we will make sure we give you a link of this later on. So what you'll see on the left side is you have 2, 24, and then a plus or a minus. In the middle, you have A, B's, and C's. And then you've got a timeline. So anything that's an A1, a B1, or a C1, I want you to think of this as a signed contract, a signed listing contract, or a signed buyer broker. Anything that's A2, B2, or C2, well, this is going to be a great chance of working with them, but nothing signed. So like a really good friend or a warm referral. And A3, you're hoping, nothing for sure, but you really hope you're going to get something out of it, right? And then you look at the right side, and this is the timeline. It's 0 to 30 days, 30 to 90 days, and 90 days plus. So what happens is when you're wanting to know who's in your pipeline, who's ready to buy or sell, or I see Heather Mendez on here. She is my video gal for real estate. And she basically, like if she has clients who are wanting to film a video, she can say, how many people do I have that are ready to film a video in the next 0 to 30 days, 30 to 90 days, or 90 days plus? Do I have a signed contract with them? Do I actually have a great chance of working with them, but nothing's signed yet? Or are we just hoping? And so what happens for you real estate agents out there, or you business owners who are following your pipeline, you can actually do this neat thing where you can tag this in your database. Now, I use Boomtown. Someone asked earlier, Boomtown is the contact management system that I use to track everything. So I can simply go in and tag all my A's, and I know everybody who's going to be buying or selling in the next 0 to 30 days. Or I can tag my A1s, B1s, and C1s and see where I have a signed contract. So it's really, really helpful when you're trying to get purposeful about your database and who's in your pipeline. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a quick little story, and then I am going to scoot to the end. I had more personal development stuff to go over with you. I think I might be able to get like 1 or 2, but I definitely want to be able to get some questions if you guys have any. So this is a slide where it is a flyer, and I'm going to share the power of social media, the power of connection, and coming from contribution firsthand. This is a really interesting experience that I want to share. So what happened is I got called out from my business coach. He said, Rachel, your goal is to do 50 million this year, and you're on pace for 30. This is last year. And I said, yeah. And he's like, so what are you going to do about it? And like any smart agent, I'm like, I don't know. He goes, okay, well, if you did know, what would you do? The coaching question, right? And I said, well, David, I don't know. And he goes, well, you know, Rachel, you can't add any more advertising because your profit and loss is already too high. You started your business doing door knocking and open houses. So those of you who know, I door knocked 200 houses a week, and I did 3 open houses a week the first 8 months of my career. So I said, well, David, I haven't actually worked an open house in the last 2 years, and I'm not willing to give up my weekends. However, I would be willing to do door knock. And he said, okay. So we had this property on Par Place that we sold, and we had 5 offers on the property, and it sold $19,000 over asking. So the flyer that you guys see here, this is the exact flyer that we door knocked with. So we took this flyer. There were 5 agents, 500 flyers. So each agent took 100 flyers, and we door knocked for about 2 hours. Now, we knocked the neighborhoods, and when we knocked on the door, so the flyer, for those of you who can't see, it says, it's a hot seller's market. Your neighbor just listed their home with the top team in the country, the Rachel Adams Group, and they're so happy that they did. We had 5 offers on the property and over $19,000 over the asking price. What does this mean to you? The market is hot. If you're on the fence about selling your home, now is the time. Let us give it the current value of your home today. And then, of course, at the bottom, we have our marketing, right? Now, what happened is we door knocked with this CMA, and when we knock the neighborhood, this is the script that we use. So we knock on the door and they answer, and we say, hey there, my name's Rachel Adams. I just wanted to let you know that I'm a local real estate expert here for you. You know, my team just sold your neighbor's house around the corner, and it sold $19,000 over asking, and we got 5 offers. So what that means to you, Mr. Seller, is a couple things. 1, prices are going up in your neighborhood, and 2, we now have 4 homeless buyers who are looking to sell or buy in your neighborhood. So because of that, now a lot of your neighbors want to know how much their house is worth. Did you want in that as well? Now, I will tell you that one little magic piece there. Because of that, now your neighbors want to know how much their house is worth. It's like the takeaway. Everybody wants what they can't have. And when they find out their neighbors are getting their home value, they're like, yeah, you can do it for me. So we actually had, in 2 hours, we had 4 CMA requests, and every single one of those have closed. Now, 3 of those turned into active listings, and 1 of those turned into a refi. However, how cool is that, right? 2 hours of my time for 3 active listings? I'd say heck yes. So what happened is I decided that this needed to be told. Now, you guys know that I'm not quiet on social media. Clearly, you're watching me right now. And so I decided that this was a really interesting experience, and that script did magical things to me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this script with other people. And so I went on social media, and this is Lab Coat Agents, it's a real estate group. And I said, all right, this is the deal. And this was the picture I posted. So I forgot the number 1 rule of door knocking. You got to wear comfortable shoes. So I definitely earned myself some blisters. Ouch. But what happened is I took a picture, popped a filter on it, picture of my foot with a Band-Aid, put Real Talk blisters, and I made a post on Facebook. And what I said is, okay, so this is a deal. I believe in full transparency. I think that too many times we see a mega agent or somebody fancy schmance on stage. They've closed all these deals and you are sitting there thinking, I could never do that. That can't be me. They're way better than me. They have a bigger team. They have, more money, yada, yada. And you start to feel inferior. You start to judge your insides by what you're seeing on stage by someone's outside. And because I have had a successful real estate business, I don't want people to think that it's been all happy sunshine and roses, like blisters, crying on a garage floor. You guys now know my real story. And I said, I want you guys to know that I got called out by my coach. I am behind goal. And I forgot the number one rule: leaders lead by example. I am asking my team to door knock and I don't door knock anymore. So I was totally transparent, told them what happened. Also, I'm a businesswoman. So what I said to them is, you guys, I also believe in coming from contribution. So if any of you would like a copy of that flyer or a copy of my script, I'm happy to give it to you. Now, what happened is I put that post on. I put it on my personal page. I put it on a couple different real estate platforms as well. And I had an event coming up, so I had hair and makeup done one day. So I popped my iPhone open and I recorded myself telling the exact story that I just did for you. It's actually on my YouTube page. So if you want that script and you want to follow along and get a copy of that flyer, you can go over to my YouTube channel. I think the title is like Rachel Adams gets 4 CMAs in 2 hours or something like that. But if you go on that and you go into the body of the video, you can actually download the script and download the flyer. Side note. But what happened is I put this post on social media and I said, for any of you that are, for any of you that are wanting a copy of the script and a copy of the video, just leave your email below. You guys, I got 580 comments total. 580 agent emails and 580 people to add to my database. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a lot of people to add to my database in one day. That was a very big success for me. And so because I'm the kind of agent who does what I say I'll do, I sent them all an email and I shared with them the video, the script, and the flyer. And I even said, hey, thank you so much for reaching out to my Facebook page. And because I'm the kind of agent who does what I say I'll do, I wanted to make sure I got this to you. By the way, if any of you have anyone who's looking to buy or sell in Northern California, I'm your gal. You guys, I received 19 referrals that month of May. 19 referrals. Now, of course, not all of them panned out. That's okay. It's a numbers game. And yet, I want you to think about this. What is happening in your world right now that you could share with other people, that you could share on social media, that could contribute to other people around you? Because you have amazing things happening in your world. You have amazing things happening in your life. And you could do a simple little post like this so you guys can see it, right? You guys can share what's happening in your world. People want to know. People want to work with you. People work with people they like. And I then became this realtor who contributed to the lives of others. Now, I did have people locally in my market who said, Rachel, why are you sharing this locally? Your own real estate agents are going to use your scripts. And I have to tell you, it goes back to that initial abundant conversation that I had that first day in Bold. If I really adopt an abundant mindset, there's no cap on how much money I can make, and I create my own destiny. So if people use my script, that's fantastic. Reality is most people won't. I hope you're that one person watching and one person watching on the webinar that actually will use the script. We use it for door knocking. We use it for circle calling. In my coaching program, which we'll talk about in just a second, we actually give you all the scripts, all the systems, like the actual systems for how you do a transaction, how you build a business through social media. It's pretty awesome. And in fact, last year, so in 2015, we closed 23 deals from Facebook. And then last year we did 58. We sold 58 homes. So we helped 58 families from Facebook alone. And I really do believe it's because I'm always contributing. I'm not afraid to share a script or give to another agent because I believe in abundance. Okay, so I think we're going to have to skip. This is personal development. That's my abs. That happened after Lost to Found. That was the book. One thing really neat for any of you lovely females watching, we have the Lady Leaders of Real Estate group that I started And it is a phenomenal Facebook group. And so if you are a female lady leader in this industry, it is a safe place for you to share, get advice from other women, whether it's, something to do with what age your daughter should wear a bra, or it's what's the best listing presentation. It's a phenomenal group of women, really high level conversation. We have over 3,000 members. We do events at Mega Camp, Family Reunion, super cool. And I'm really proud of it. That's Lost to Found. That's the book. We don't have time for a lot of this, so I'm going to skip. This is the last thing I want to talk to you guys about before we move to questions and the program. It's just a simple little challenge. And what it says is it's a picture of me drinking a glass of water, and it's coffee versus water, because I always have my coffee and my water. Those are the two things that I thrive on. And I will tell you that when you saw the picture before of me, this lovely guy. So this picture of me on the left, this is when I got into real estate. I was about 32 pounds heavier. I'm putting everybody else's needs in front of my own, family, friends, clients. And I decided that I wanted to change. I decided that I wanted to put myself first. We make these massive, massive professional goals of how many houses we're going to sell and, what we're going to do. And yet we forget that there's only one body, one vessel, one person who's actually going to get us there. And so what I did is I made one small good decision. Now, my small good decision was that the very first thing I did in the morning when I woke up is I would drink a cup of coffee. How many of you out there drink a cup of coffee first thing in the morning? That's what you do, right? Well, that was me as well. And so I said, okay, I'm going to do something different. Instead of having a cup of coffee first, I'm going to have a glass of water. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to have a glass of water. And now that meant setting myself up for success. So that means the night before I go to bed, a glass of water I put by my bed. And then I made a rule. Before my 2 feet hit the floor, I'm going to chug that glass of water. And it was really interesting because, so the night before I set up my glass of water, I wake up in the morning, I chug my glass of water. And then I'm sitting there thinking, that was probably a really good idea. I feel good about that. And then I'm lying in bed and I'm thinking, man, all these people who have these big lives, who are doing what I want to do at a high level, if any of you have ever read The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, it's an awesome book. He talks about the savers, and they're different. It's like a series of things you can do in the morning to set yourself up for success, for an amazing day. And so I started practicing some of these. I started drinking water in the morning. I started saying 3 things I was grateful for. I'd get to the ground, I'd bust out some push-ups and do a little ab workout. And then when you start your morning with a positive mindset and some good energy, all of a sudden you want to eat a healthy breakfast. And it was like a spiral effect. And so what happens when I told you, right? It's not about who you are now, it's about who you're going to become. It really is about those small good choices. The difference between who you are right now and who you want to become is this part right here. It's one good choice after another good choice after another good choice. And sooner or later, you are leading a completely different life. You are in a completely different place, and you're a completely different person. Okay, my sweet friends, I am going to tell you a little bit about the coaching program that is launching July 17th, which is next Monday. And if anybody is interested in taking it, I'm going to give you a little promo video. I will also make sure we post the link in the page. I would love to coach with you guys. It is a 10-week coaching program, and it's a webinar series. So there's a half-hour live Q&A and a private Facebook page. The second you sign up for the coaching program, you go right into the Facebook page. The website to sign up is www.limitedtolegendary.com. And we will absolutely post all the different courses, tell you what it's all about. But I'm going to show you a quick little video, and then we can jump into some Q&A for you.
Are you ready to trade in a limited mindset for a legendary business? My name's Rachel Adams, and in 3 years in the real estate industry, I went from a brand new agent not knowing how to do anything to top 1,000 agent in the country for the Wall Street Journal. Year 1 in the business, I sold 39 houses. Year 2 was 109, and year 3 was 123 homes. Now, a lot of people ask how I experienced such quick growth in my business, and truly what it comes down to is a positive mindset, surrounding yourself with the right people, and just knowing that if you get the skills behind you, they can propel you forward to catapult you into the life of your dreams. I'm so excited to present to you my MAPS coaching course, From Limited to Legendary, your fast track to becoming a top 1,000 agent. Over the next 10 weeks, we're going to discuss so many amazing topics that are going to help your business in a huge way. We're going to discuss how there's a direct link from your personal growth that relates to your business success. We're going to dig deep into your database. So many people know they need to talk to their database, but they don't know the conversation to have, and they don't know what content to provide. I'm going to show you exactly what to do and give you the content to directly relate in a referral. There's so many ways that you can attack your real estate business. What I show you is kind of a mix of old versus new. I definitely still believe in a face-to-face conversation. In fact, one of the things we're going to go over is how one conversation can relate to 10 real estate transactions or more. And speaking of new, obviously we know that social media is the wave of the future. 31 of my 123 deals last year were directly from Facebook, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did so that you can get those referrals too. Of course, we're going to talk about open houses, the buyer and seller process, perfecting your listing presentation. There's so much more to go over, and I can't wait to spend the next 10 weeks with you. Sign up below and take the next step in creating your legendary business.
All right. Limited to legendary, my friends. So it's really fun. It's my coaching program. It's totally my passion. I do it through MAPS. I'm a MAPS coach. It's $349 for the 10 weeks, and it is a total blast. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just leave this on. Oh yeah, I'm in Northern California. So a couple people asked where I'm from. So right now I'm sitting in Folsom, California in my house. And I service Sacramento and Placer County, as well as parts of the Bay Area. The information to contact us is right here. And then this last slide is every way that you can follow me. So it's phone number, email, my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, my Instagram, Pinterest, Deals and Heels. Why wouldn't it be? And then Twitter. So I appreciate you all so much for your time today. Again, if you want to coach with me, it starts on the 17th. It is $349 for a 10-week webinar series. We talk about marketing your database. We talk about like what to give to your database. What do you say to them? What does it look like? Planning client events. We talk about the client experience, all the templates that your admin's going to use throughout the transaction, buyer, seller, referral, testimonial. We talk about, what else do we talk about? We talk about 10x the listing presentation. So exactly how to master the listing presentation, dominate your local market. We have an entire week on social media because, as I said, 58 transactions came from Facebook, and I'm so passionate about other people understanding social media and learning how to use it as a business platform as well as connecting. So limitedtolegendary.com is the website, and I'm going to see, I don't know how this will work. Let's see. I'm wondering if Christina, can you hear me? Let's see if I can give her a voice. I'm going to try and unmute you. Well, I was trying to see how I can answer any questions for you lovely people. Let me see if I can find it. This is a new system for me. Okay, so coaching is once per week. So Diane's asking about coaching. So it is, so every Monday a video comes out. There's a half hour of live Q&A in a private Facebook mastermind group, and the video is sent to you on Monday, and it's live for 8 days. So you can watch the actual pre-recorded webinar at your convenience and take as many screenshots as you want. I give you so much marketing material, it's silly. We have a 92% acceptance rate for buyer's offers, so we share that with you, the systems and everything. So it's pretty awesome. Okay, and yes, Rachel, if you have put your email in, you'll get a copy of this webinar, so you can definitely screenshot all the slides. Let's see. Some people said they want coaching, but they need to talk to me. If you wanted to ask me a question about coaching, go ahead and send me an email at rachel@racheladamsgroup.com, and then I can address your coaching question, or you can private message me on Facebook under Rachel Adams Realtor. So yeah, no one-on-one MAPS coaching at this point. It is just group coaching. Okay, so, oh, Christina, I hear you. Right? Thought I heard her. I'm trying to get to some good questions. Oh, Christina's been answering people. Look at her go. Okay, well, does anyone, I can't hear her. So what I can do is I can go through these questions and make sure we address everybody. Laura is asking about how to plan client events. So Laura, I'm going to be teaching that in my private coaching group, and then I will likely do a webinar, a follow-up webinar, just kind of giving some basic tips on it, and then I can definitely do something in on my YouTube channel too. So I will definitely make sure I take care of you. And for those of you watching, we have a live Q&A with MAPS on Monday at 10:30 my time. Or no, sorry, is it 12:30? I think it's 10:30 my time, so 12:30 Pacific. And so what we will do is that's total open Q&A. So any questions you have about your real estate business, anything you have going on, no holds bar, like personal development, what's happening in my life, what's happening in your life, tips of like nutrition, whatever you want. I will make sure I post a link for it today, but it is going to be on MAPS coaching page, which I'll share on my page on Monday. And so if you have any additional questions or you think of things, you can definitely ask. Yes, Boomtown is the way that that's my CRM. And other thing with coaching with me, I share all of my people with you. So I call it Rachel's Crew. And it is all the people that I work with at Realtor.com, at Boomtown, all my marketing people, having like seamless branding, Monty Pratt, like all of my team and the people who built my business, I give all of them to you. So that's kind of cool. Okay, let's see. Pearl's asking the next coaching program. I'm not sure. It's usually 10 weeks after. So we launch on July 17th, and then I'm not totally sure the next one after that. Someone else is asking what my really cool light is called. I can show it to you guys. So this is what it looks like. It's this little like clip-on thing, and it's actually a selfie light, and it is like amazing. The brand is, what is it called? Ocatathon. It's Ocatathnon. It was suggested to me by somebody. It has 3 layers of or levels of brightness. So it's awesome for a selfie, but I use it for all my fancy webinars because why wouldn't I? Got to have the lighting, guys. It's all about the good lighting. See if I put on my phone, it would make it even different. I don't know. It's good stuff. Okay. Oh, thank you. People are saying thank you for doing a webinar and not just a sales pitch. That's what I do, because I actually practice what I preach. You offer value, right? And it's a total win-win, right? Like, obviously, I hope you guys sign up for coaching. I'd love to coach with you and hang out for the next 10 weeks, grow with you. Someone else just asked about the coaching. So the first 15 minutes of Q&A, so we have the private mastermind group, right? And the first 15 minutes are me kind of coaching you, teaching you something I've learned about, because the good thing is I'm actually the kind of coach whose feet is on the ground. So I will sometimes be doing my Q&A outside of a house when I'm about to go into a listing presentation, something that I'm learning. We're all learning and growing together. So it's kind of fun because we get to share. And then the second, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. You guys, what was I talking about? I don't remember. What was I talking? Oh, second 15 minutes of Q&A. Perfect. This happens sometimes too. So first 15 minutes, I'm coaching you, and the second 15 minutes is Q&A. So it's whatever you guys are going through in your life, and then whatever questions you're asking about. Sarah just said, would the coaching be beneficial for non-realtors too? I would say absolutely, not every week. Like, you're not going to really care about giving a listing presentation, but the first week is about it's the mega agent mindset. So it would be the mindset behind a successful person. Then the second week is marketing and brand awareness. So absolutely. Third week is mastering your database. Absolutely. Fourth week is social media. Absolutely. And then we have the 10x the buying process and 10x the selling process. So if you're not in real estate, not going to be super beneficial, but the course is only $349. And then you have a client experience. So if you're a business owner, it's just really good tips for how you have the right environment. And then we have a whole systems week, all the systems the admin uses for the buyer seller process, connecting with clients, testimonials. And then we have a week on talent, your secret weapon. So really, like, when you're ready to grow, who do you grow with? Who do you hire? Like, what happens? And like, what does it really look like for you when you want to grow your business? The conversations you have, like who to grow, how to grow, when to grow, all of it. Because I didn't know this stuff. It honestly is like a compilation of all the things I wish I knew when I got into the business. Texas. And then the last one is my favorite week, and it's personal growth equals business success. So it's like all my favorite personal development tools that I created. And I love, love, love them. Okay. Somebody said, what are my top 3 pieces of advice for a new agent? Okay, so number 1, I know that it's not going to sound fun, and you have to make sure you have a database. So what I want you to do, if you're a brand new agent, take an Excel spreadsheet and put down 200 people. You might think you don't know 200 people. You know 200 people. They could be friends that you went to college with. They could be your mom's best friend. It doesn't matter. People you've worked with, old bosses, it doesn't matter. These are people who know you and who like you, because you have to start somewhere to let people know you've gotten into real estate. Second thing, it's your mindset. So I talk a lot about, I actually call it your mindset reset. So it's this little thing in the back of your brain where it needs to be positive. You need to know that there's something you can like shift it and tweak it, and all of a sudden like, oh, the light is on. So in real estate, it can be kind of a brutal industry. And I like to say we experience like the highest highs and the lowest lows. And it's usually in a matter of like 5 minutes. And, what I have to say is that when I really was having a hard time, like I'd walk in the office and everyone is expecting me to be like happy and sunshine and roses because I'm a lead listing agent. And sometimes life isn't always like that. And so people would come up to me like, Rach, mindset girl, like something's off. And so I came up with something I call the mindset reset. You literally, for me, I call it the 2 Ps, and it stands for push-ups and prayer. So I would literally drop to the ground, I would bust out 10 push-ups, and then I would get on my knees and I would ask God to grant me the grace to move forward. And for me, it's push-ups and prayer. So it's this little thing I can do to snap my mind to get me back on track. Because in real estate, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're absolutely right. And so what kind of agent are you going to be? What kind of mindset do you want to have? I assume you want to have a strong mindset, right? And then the third piece I would say is consistency. You are going to get burnout. It's going to happen. I'm going to talk to you about door knocking, or if you watch any of my past webinars, you do my coaching, you'll learn about door knocking. And I really think that if you're going to be effective, you have to be willing to put the time in, and you have to make peace with boredom. I had a conversation with my girlfriend the other night about making peace with boredom. It's not always fun. And yet when you're consistent with it, the results happen. I door knocked for 4 months before I actually got a lead from my farm, from the place I was marketing. And yet it kind of was a snowball effect. If you're constantly doing the right things, the good things happen. All right, my sweet friends, thank you so, so much. We went 13 minutes over. I really appreciate your time. I'm so excited that we got to connect today for so long. If you're not hanging out with me on Facebook yet, I would love to. It's Rachel Adams Realtor. Thank you all so much. Your comments are so fun and wonderful. If you attended this webinar, we will definitely be making sure you get a copy. Thank you, all you sweet people saying thank you. I have loved spending time with you today, and it is 102 degrees or 104 degrees or something today, so it is hot. Holy moly. All right, you guys, talk to you soon.